Oh my God, buddy. What's going on with Flare?
So, well, we've got an update from our last one again, from our last video, which wasn't that long ago. Some
Yeah,
more.
more
Oh,
confusion, excitement, anger,
excitement.
sadness.
BS
So we had this, that we looked at this article here,
last time, yeah.
right, where they posted and said between October 24 and November
And
6th.
I said, there's no date, amazingly.
No, there's no year, right?
No,
No
yeah,
year,
sorry, yeah, no, yeah.
which I think this could come true, that this would be 2023. So anyway, now we got a new announcement, and interestingly, maybe they've been watching our YouTubes because now there's a date
From
here.
Dubai.
Yeah, Dubai.
They're in Dubai
They're in
now.
Dubai now, man.
Thanks to all your money, we're now in Dubai. In our palaces.
Yeah. So
Oh God, a major milestone. Oh God, yeah.
now in this whole blog post article, they're kind of going all over the place before they
Can
come
I
out with a
can I
date.
quickly just say something? One sec.
Say, my
A
friend.
major milestone will be achieved next week. That was the 21st. And what date we are? Oh, so yeah, they're still in date, so they've got a few days left. Milestone will be achieved next week. Which week?
Well, next week would be
21st was, so it's this week then.
so it says decentralization threshold for token distribution and enters the 6 to 9 month beta period.
+3.
Plus 3 months for unexpected events, basically 12 months, right?
Yeah.
Which puts us squarely into the previously
20,
mentioned range of October 24 and November 6th of 2023,
23, maybe.
and maybe because they didn't
Not
give
that
a
I'm being
date.
cynical.
Yeah. So as it is right now, it seems that Flare is currently centralized, right?
Yeah.
They're running most of the validators, and they mentioned in the previous article also that they would be onboarding, just to recap, infrastructure partners and FTSO validators to be network validators,
Yeah.
right? um, there's a whole lot of things going on here. We have the XRP versus SEC lawsuit happening. No one is sure when that's going to come to an end, but probably next year, right?
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, ISO was delayed by a few months from November to, guess what, January of next year. So I'm wondering if this has anything to do with everything. Looking down where we find the date, the TDE is around November 9th, 2023, which would be here. Also no year. Well, there's a year now.
There's a
Wow,
year.
there's a year.
Yeah.
9th of January 23. So that's
But
what he
there's
says.
international end of year celebrations.
So apparently that's where we are now, right?
Flare envisages all the exchanges being ready within the next month. Okay. But with international end of year celebrations, may be deemed the optimal path for the fairest and most inclusive distribution. If exchange feedback is 1 month's time, means the December TDE is an option, then as previously stated, the network itself will be. I mean, how to
Basically,
decipher that thing?
yeah, it's basically a lot of we're
Bollocks.
not ready. Okay, yeah, we're not ready, and we knew this all, but we didn't, and it's all unforeseen, and we need to do it right, and the exchanges need to be ready, and
Although they've had 2 years to get it
yeah,
ready, but
and
yeah, not
the
long.
people who will get flared, they need to be treated right, everything has to be correct, and so forth. So let's look at the tweets.
Hang on, go back a sec. Go back a sec. Go back. I just
Yeah.
see something down the bottom of there. Novel here, Flair would like to publicly thank all the exchange teams prioritising integration of Flair have been conducting code audit, security reviews, compliance checks, as well as finalising the integration Flair blockchain. We're also very grateful for the continued support of the Flair community and a belief in the potential of Flair's novel technology.
Yeah.
Novel.
I'm not commenting on that.
Man.
So, want to go over the tweets?
Go then. Go
Hubert
then.
Fillian's tweets?
Yeah, go then.
Part of the solution to growing our industry is building something that is actually useful to a very large number of people.
Getting
This is
smaller by the day.
what we at Flare are working on by enabling Web 2 to Web 3 composability through the state connector. Well, we know this, right? We know this. You read the white paper, you know how that all works. Then he says Flare can be the platform for thousands of businesses to actually do something useful by connecting to the outside world. Not sure what he means by that. Think of Flare as the monetization layer for Web 2. Great areas to think about are gaming, social media, and finance. Okay, all right. Okay, great. XRP will do all of that and more. I still maintain what I have said 2 years ago, that by the time Flare will be ready, XRPL will do all of those things and more better. And will be
Plus
more
it's been,
mature and will have run for over 10 years without a
and
flaw and without a fault.
there's 2 years. Things have progressed.
Yeah, I mean, the world around Flare has not stopped and waited for
No,
Flare. Everything is progressing. We're getting hooks on
Flare community
XRPL.
think they have.
Yeah, we're getting
We've all waited.
side chains on XRPL. We're getting smart contracts in side chains on XRPL. I mean, we're getting NFTs on XRPL. Why in the world would I want to do this on Flare network?
What? Give them your XRP.
Give them your XRP, buddy. You
Of
will do that, right?
course. Yeah. I'm on my way.
I'm failing to see the uniqueness
Like
of Flare,
two
at this
years ago,
point.
okay. 2 years ago, okay.
A few years back, yeah, it was an amazing proposition.
Yeah.
Also because it promised to bring in the non-smart cryptos like Litecoin,
Yeah.
Algo, I think it was, Bitcoin and whatnot. So, but nowadays, where everything else has progressed and seemingly Bitcoin is being left behind, not to speak of Ethereum, right? And XRPs will do all of this.
There we go.
There you go. To be abundantly clear, Flare will be ready to do the TDE, which is the token distribution event. Also, in other words, airdrop. Why are they not calling it airdrop? Is there a legal reason, maybe?
Don't want everyone going in there asking for airdrops instead of rain.
All right, they changed the wording, right? So it's now a TDE.
TDE.
We're
Sounds
waiting
better than AD.
Yeah, we're waiting on coordination with 100 plus exchanges, so the distribution is orderly.
Shouldn't they have had that already in place?
One would think so. After they had over a year of extra time.
Yeah, you'd have hoped so.
So that everyone that should get their tokens does, and so that they all get them broadly at the same time.
And then we want you to delegate it for 3 years if you want the rest of your 50 after your 15%.
Also, keep in mind that when you're doing all the things you like to do on Flare, that it's an inflationary token. Just leaving it at that.
Leave it at that.
Leave it at that.
Leave it there.
Here's an interesting one. Aside from it having a little bit of a typo in it, I'm not sure I find the analogy fitting.
No.
If you're playing poker,
so we're gambling.
Yeah, you don't play with your whole.
There's no fucking golf now.
There's a W missing here.
Yeah.
Whole cards face up.
Face up. But maybe he's been on the vodka on a Friday night with me.
I don't know. By the same rule, you don't distribute your mainnet token, giving away your maximal leverage until the pieces that need to, the exchanges, fall into place. So he's basically saying he's playing poker with us.
Yeah.
He's holding the cards, which is the Flare token, and he's not showing them yet until the exchanges are ready. So he's waiting for the exchanges.
But they've had 2 years.
Maybe there's more to it. Maybe there's more to it. I just can tell that if you look at the responses in general on Twitter and the comments and the YouTubes, people aren't happy because it goes from one to the next delay to the next delay
to the next month to the next. I mean, it was, weren't it 8 weeks, September, 8 weeks after they and wherever it was they were doing. It was going to be 8 weeks, and now we're into this. So how can people believe anything that they're saying anymore? Seriously.
Yeah, and I think it's not very professional, and it's a bit unfortunate to say he's playing poker.
Yeah. I hope you don't play like me on a Friday night because you're all doomed. Trust me.
So here's another one. I understand that people are frustrated about the delay in distribution. I'm equally, if not more, frustrated. There are so many useful things that myself and the team could be doing other than liaising
With
with
exchanges.
exchanges at this point. So there's like 13 more messages in this thread. Let's go over them.
Go on then.
We've been working to coordinate the distribution with exchanges since late May. Yeah,
What year?
yeah,
This year?
exactly. Again, what year? They knew this, right? They should have been
Yeah.
doing this since 2021.
Straight away, they should have known, especially after the debacle with the Songbird distribution. They should have been on it.
There's a high variability in how exchanges operate with respect to projects. Some provide a streamlined information, rich process to enable projects to understand the variables that matter to that exchange. Others do broadly the opposite. So some make it really easy. Others apparently give you a hard time to, have the token with those exchanges. This makes it hard for a team and a project to plan around that. Okay, I can understand that. But
Don't explain this at the beginning. Not years down. Like explain this at the beginning, and don't give out dates. Don't give out dates to community members because it's just making it worse.
I feel they keep giving us dates that are absolutely that's the date. And then they come with beautiful explanations and excuses why that's not the date. And
Yeah,
then come up with a new that's definitely the date. And I'm
and
pretty
then
sure now that people do not believe their word anymore.
and then they
Yeah.
have another. Oh, this is happening. This is why. This is why. Don't give out a date. Just say we're trying to do this. We're having trouble with some of the exchanges.
So basically
Don't
he's
give out a
blaming the
date.
exchanges here right
Yeah,
now.
basically
He
anyone.
says he's ready, Flair's ready, everything's ready. Distribution could happen right now, but the exchanges aren't ready. And he doesn't want people who have had their XRP on exchanges to miss out. And then he says here, exchanges are used to operating on their own timetable, and we're asking them to work with us in a coordinated manner to the benefit of the community. Naturally, exchanges don't have the same sense of urgency around this as we do.
What
When we
urgent?
announced that we would launch on October 24th to 6th of November, it was caveated, I never heard that word, that it was subject to exchange discussions.
You should have
Currently,
said that then.
yeah, I don't know. Currently excluding Japanese exchanges, which have their own process, 70% of the tokens going to exchanges will be distributed shortly after the airdrop, let's
TDE
say, right? Because TDE.
613.
Then that's the number 6 of the 13 messages. Getting final confirmations from just 3 more exchanges will take this figure to over 94%. I made the decision to push back the distribution for 2 reasons. Now here we have the reasons.
Okay.
If there are more months, now if there are months between exchange distributions, then, which this should be an A, then recipients, then no, sorry, distributions, then recipients later. I'm sorry, you read this for me. I'm
Okay. If there are months between exchange distributions, then recipients at later distributing exchanges will be adversely affected by not having the chance to take part in the FTSO, participate in governance over FIP.01. So that's your 15% then. I think that's what he's trying to say. That if you wouldn't get your 15% to put into the FTSO, so you'd
oh
be
yeah, so
missing out
basically he's
on the
saying that if
governance.
people will get their
Yeah.
token later, they
Yeah,
won't
they
be able
can't
to
participate.
participate.
You
And
can't lock your 15% away, so they can't participate.
they can not only not participate, they will also miss out on the increased distribution, the
Yeah,
increased rewards that are at the beginning
yeah,
weeks, especially where it sharply drops later on, as we've seen with Songbird,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I think, yeah. Or receive the token distribution through the mechanisms outlined in FIP01, which is one of the blog posts. I think it's a white paper. If it goes ahead, then the much bigger reason to, although unlikely, as all exchanges have shown willing,
willing.
there is the possibility that an exchange doesn't distribute for a long time or at all. Okay. It needs to be strongly noted, whilst the tokens have not been distributed, Flare working together with the community have leverage. After token distribution, this leverage disappears completely. Huh. Interesting. Not sure. I get that. Lastly, although I can certainly appreciate that it may not look like it from the outside, the team have done a tireless job and have been very successful so far in getting to 70% that will be distributed swiftly after the airdrop. When and if social pressure needs to be applied, please work with us to get the rest of the way there so that Flare can launch well and the community can get the tokens they deserve. Lastly, January 9th would be the absolute last date for
Right. Okay.
airdrop.
We'll remember that.
And there's no year here
No,
given.
no, no.
Come what may, we will do the distribution then. That's a,
So
okay.
that's going back on what he said earlier then, that if some people don't get it. So on January the 9th, if these exchanges aren't going to give it, so he's gone back on what he said, where they want to wait for everyone to get their distribution. Because he's just put, then we're going to do it anyway.
And then look what he says. If we can't do the airdrop sooner, we will.
Yeah.
I will update you when we have further news or have an action that the community can undertake to help get the distribution out. Yep, that's it. That's it. That's everything from Hugo so far for the last 3 days.
Okay.
Now, what do you guys think? I'd like to hear some comments about this. I know people want to be patient. I know other people want the airdrop last year
Well, there's
as
patience
promised.
and there's patience.
I just think there's too many promises of fixed dates that have not been met. And people lose trust,
Well, credibility's going.
So
Let's be honest.
Yeah, why are we even getting a new date now? Why not just say we'll do it whenever we'll do it, which they should have done that from the beginning, in my opinion.
Yeah. And they should have said we're trying to work with exchanges, not give out dates, because people on dates, and then you look like an arsehole because you've not reached that date again. And then it goes to another date and another date and another date.
Yeah.
So people are going to get fed up with it all.
It seems to me that looking at all the responses that the community is pretty divided. There's those who are, all the way in and they understand all of that and keep it up and you're doing a great job. And then there's those who are getting impatient, right? Who are not happy.
Well, not going to be, are you? But the other thing is, it is the backtracking on getting all your Flare airdrop, because you're only going to get 15 now as well. That's another backtrack.
I think that's what was decided or will be decided, right?
Oh, it's decided. Come on.
It's decided de facto, I would say. If Hugo says it is, it so will be.
Yeah, of course it will. Because the community aren't going to say, well, actually, no, we're not doing it because Flare want it. So it's going to happen anyway.
So just to remind everyone, what is this? So basically, people get their initial 15%, and then all the rest of it over the course of 3 years.
Yeah,
but you
have to delegate it to an FTSO for 3 years to get your 85%, the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
If you don't put your 15% in an FTSO, you're not getting the rest of it, basically.
Right. And also, if you're not putting your existing 15%, it'll just whittle away with inflation. Yeah. Inflation, the real world inflation, as well as Flare network inflation.
Everyone's going to, whoever ain't going to put it in an FTSO, obviously, is going to dump it as quick as they can.
I think that's going to be a massive dump on airdrop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine will be dumped.
Yeah. I mean, it's also, what do you believe, right? What is your core belief in the Flare network? Do you think that what it will provide, the utility it will provide, is exclusive to them? I don't think that, I'd rather stick with XRP.
Well, it's up to the individual, isn't it? It's up to the individual. But 3 years is a long time locking in. That's a long time.
It's an eternity in crypto world.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
nowadays, reality that we live
3
in.
years. That's way long.
I think it's too much to ask.
Well, they know people have put it in there for 3 years and get what out of it at the end of it. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. Mine won't be in there. No, I'll have me 15%.
Well, we'll sit tight and keep an eye
Yeah.
out what's happening. It's certainly not a surprise to you and me that this has now happened. That
And a
now
lot
we've
more people now. I mean,
yeah,
everyone just expects. I mean, I should imagine there's a lot of people expecting on the 9th of January, was it, that there'll be another date given.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Be something else after.
At this point, I'm not really having any faith in whatever they're saying.
No.
Want to go over the last thing we have here real quick?
Yeah. Make your own mind up.
Yeah,
Obviously.
this is just for consideration. Mr. Scam Alert, we don't know who he is.
I
Replied
don't
to Mr. Use Case, which we
know. I
know.
know who that is.
And we had him on here in one of the last YouTubes.
Yeah.
Comment this, please. Outrageous lie. It's a fake proposal. And here he's talking about the FIB 01 is the distribution proposal for the airdrop, right? The 36
Yeah.
months, I believe.
Which is what they run about earlier.
And he says he accuses them here, Flare Network and everybody involved of lying and scamming since day one. Strong words. And then he provides us with a screenshot.
Yeah. That's his words, not ours, by the way.
Yeah, we just saw this. Yeah,
So.
give us your comments. What do you think? What's up with this? It says we get 4.3 billion in this initial 15% eligible vote to vote. Flare gets 3.75 billion also eligible to vote, which are 15% of 25 billion. Okay. Voting starts after 66% of the 4.3 billion have dropped, so 2.9 billion. The proposal needs 50% of yes votes to pass. Flare has more than 50% always, right?
Yeah.
Is this a joke? I think what he's talking about is that Flare Network themselves have more than 50% of votes and also of the token under their control.
Yes.
So yeah, they could guide the decisions any way they wanted.
Yeah, it's a yay or a nay on whatever Flare want to do.
Yeah, and we have not looked into the numbers, actually. No. We've not done the math. We don't know if this is true or not. Leave us a comment. What do you think? Is this true? Is there something to this? It's definitely, I mean, it's better to mistrust and verify than to just run along and
DYOR.
Yeah, do your own research, as always.
But we just put it out there, so.
Yeah, putting it out there.
It's up to you to look into it.
And that's it for today on Flare Update.
Yeah. To the moon.